Who do you think really runs the world?
You're going to go there, huh, with the question. Who do I think runs the world? So I used to ask the question, I said, who's got the most power in America? Is it Congress? Is it president? Is it the CEOs of virtual governments? We're talking Google, Twitter, Facebook, those guys, Amazon, or is it billionaires? Okay, the most richest man in the world. Who's got the most power? You become a billionaire. And you're still dangerously ambitious. Not from a good place, but more selfish place. I want more control. I want more power. I can't be a president. I don't want to be a president because if I run for president, they're going to reveal the things that I've done in my life, and God forbid if that gets all the light, I don't want that. That's embarrassing. But you know what I'm going to do? What if I can take over the world? Are there other people like me that are driven by wanting to take over the world? What if we could make the world one place and we make all the decisions for everybody? You really start having that God-like figure. Like, I don't know if you're familiar with George Soros.
What's it like to have a lot of money?
It gives you a degree of freedom. And it also gives you a degree of power.
In one of the interviews he gave to LA Times, he says, I always fancied myself with being a god. Fancied myself with being a god. He says, but what's great about where I'm at right now is it's no longer a dream.
So saving the world. So I had the sort of what I call messianic fantasies, which I think most adolescents have. I've been somewhat more successful of actually acting out those fantasies.
What's one of the most addicting things that many of those guys can't get? Power.
We see a world gone mad.
Is Britta Filter, and she is the Queen of New York!
We see all social structure in complete upheaval.
We'll be free from the river to the sea. Palestine will be free.
And beneath it all, it is all a revolt against God. That the whole world is in upheaval because of their spiritual anarchy against God.
A group unveiled a bronze statue in Detroit this weekend paying tribute to Satan. The goat-headed figure stands more than 8 feet tall. The Satanic temple had plans for a private event, but the restaurant owner canceled reservations after learning of what was planned. The statue was meant for the state capitol in Oklahoma City until its Supreme Court banned a monument of the Ten Commandments. The Satanic temple says it supports separation of church and state. It now wants to erect the figure outside the State House in Arkansas, where a Ten Commandments monument is planned.
Society is in an uproar against all moral restraint from God. And the culture is in chaos.
There are some adult themes here. Do you think that it gets a little tricky as a mom? Or is that something that you're okay with your child seeing? There's some people kind of with their butts out and doing bedroom stuff.
No, I think it's important to share with my child that because we have to love everybody the way they are. It's important.
And the nations are teetering. What was once unthinkable is now unhindered. The sin that used to slink down the back alley now struts down Main Street. The government has far exceeded its limits. The wickedness of man is pushing out the boundaries to now things that Paul says are unlawful to even speak about in public. All moral restraint is gone. The world is in a free fall with no end in sight except the lake of fire. Why are the nations in an uproar? And the peoples devising a vain thing. The kings of the earth take their stand, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord. and against his anointed, saying, let us tear their fetters apart and cast away their cords from us. He who sits in the heavens laughs. The Lord scoffs at them. Then he will speak to them in his anger and terrify them in his fury, saying, but as for me, I have installed my king upon Zion, my holy mountain. I will surely tell of the decree of the Lord. He said to me, you are my son. Today I have begotten you. Ask of me, and I will surely give the nations as your inheritance, and the very ends of the earth as your possession. You shall break them with a rod of iron. You shall shatter them like earthenware. Now therefore, O kings, show discernment. Take warning, O judges of the earth. Worship the Lord with reverence and rejoice with trembling. Do homage to the Son, that he not become angry and you perish in the way. For his wrath may soon be kindled. How blessed are all who take refuge in him. He is king over all the kings of this earth. He is judge over all the judges of this earth. I have installed my king upon Zion, referring to the heavenly Zion, my holy mountain, high and lifted up and exalted, the Most High, towering over the landscape of this world. And regardless of what defiant peoples of the earth may conspire, the eternal decree of God moves forward unchanged and unaltered